Hello, everybody. Brian Collins here with the Daily BLP. I wasn't trying to remember the name of the show. I was trying to remember what episode we're on, but I think we're on episode 76. Episode 76 of the Daily BLP. Hey, I am off the cuff today. I've got no notes with me. I've got nothing, but I've got stuff happening. Was wall to wall today from the beginning of the day to 5 minutes before the show starts when I got an alert saying, hey, you got to record in 5 minutes. So Matt might be popping in to be a part of the gig today. But I got him a late email right before the show started, said, hey, I got no outline today. I'm going to wing it, but plenty to talk about. So super busy day today. Let's get rolling. So, man, what a blessed day. So things have been slow here at Panacea headquarters for a couple months. Man, we've been bringing on some new clients, but nothing too crazy. And it's just, sometimes late summer, fall, people aren't quite sure what they're going to do with the rest of their money for the year or where things are happening. But we've broke through with a couple new wins today. One win on the revenue cycle management side of the business, so that's exciting. Nobody knows about this yet, except for maybe one or two other people in the company. So, had a really good call with a practice up in Green Bay that needs some help, and we can definitely help them out, man. We're going to just knock it out of the park for these guys. So I'm super excited for that. It's going to be a quick turnaround. We'll probably have them onboarded by the end of next week. Mid next week is when we're going to go up there and meet with them. But yeah, great couple doctors there, great family practice, and we're just super excited for the opportunity to, help them right the ship that's been a little sideways for a little while right now. RCM is one of those things that everybody does a little bit different. There's a standard way of doing things, but depending on where you're located, like the state you're in, depending on the type of practice that you are, and the type of things you're doing, it really can impact, how the billing, the coding, the following up on unpaid things can get done. So, these were folks that we just learned about a couple days ago. Good referral partner of mine, Craig. He always comes through every few months. He's got something, and he's been in this business a long time. So he said, "Hey, we've got a practice that looks like you guys would be a good fit for. Can you do A, B, C, and D? Do you have experience in their EHR, which in this case is Advanced MD? And in fact, we do. In fact." Fun fact, or as my son would say, when you're being too much of a know-it-all, he always follows up with a, actually. Advanced MD was the very first system that we worked out of when we started our revenue cycle management services way back in, I want to say 2018-ish, maybe 2019. I don't know. Once you're through business 5 years, I think all the years start to blend together. So, and then with the whole COVID thing in the middle, I don't even remember half the things that happened during that time frame. But yeah, our very first client opportunity, they were Advanced MD. So we cut our teeth in that. So we do know that we can work out of that. But yeah, so, don't sleep on your referral partners. If you've got folks out and about that know you do a good job, are in contact with people that possibly need what you have, be good friends. And, put together a sweet deal for them. That's what we like to do. So we have a referral partner agreement that guarantees a portion of the recurring revenue. If they send us a deal our way and we end up closing it, that referral partner gets a cut of that deal moving forward. So it can be lucrative. So we appreciate Craig. I don't know if he watches the show or not, but we appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for all you've done over the years and sending folks our way. But don't sleep on that. I should probably practice what I preach and do a lot more, spend a lot more time on my a referral network building. I'm not just talking about going out in places and networking, like with real intent, building a referral partner program. I've got a really great book on it. I interviewed the gentleman who wrote the book about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. He was one of my first 10 big shows I did of the BLP. And I bought his book and read it. I've gone through it a couple times now, and I'm like, God, I gotta get on this. I'm just really bad at taking a book and like I'll read through it and I'll get fired up. I'm like, yeah, I got to be doing that. Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's good. But especially his book, which is really good about giving you instructions, like and just laying them out. Do this, then just work your way through the chapters. I'm just, it's been tough, and I'm just kind of making excuses for me to really take that information and apply it and apply it and apply it, because my days are so broken up between working in the business and working on the business. And I know smart people that could be coaching or advise me, you gotta stop working in the business and work on. Listen, I know all that stuff. It's just not always as easy to get that kind of stuff happening. So, but it's in my head. I know I need to get it done. But there's, you can, if you, with good intent, build a good referral partner network and program, it can be more lucrative for your business than any lead generation service, any cold calling service or internal cold calling program that you got. So I just need to buckle down and spend some real time creating that and making it happen, more so than I already have. But yeah, super fired up, for that lead. And because it's a quick turnaround, just a couple days ago, found out about it, vetted it a little bit, got on a call with them today, and they're like, let's go. So that's great. The next one is an IT one that I've been working on for a couple of months, actually. This is a lead that we got from our buddies over at Arsenal Business Growth. Go check those guys out if you are let's say an MSP like us, or if you're I think they can help you with folks that are doing like roofing businesses or solar panel businesses, a couple different types of those industries they're really good with. And, we've got one guy, Bob Gillespie, that does that calls for us and books meetings. And this is going to be his first managed service deal that he sent us that's closed. So I'm super excited for that. It's a little bit of an interesting one, but this is the reality of the game these days. Anybody who runs across this show that's been in the IT managed service business for a number of years now, 10 years ago, you could run across a lot of people and win a lot of business that weren't currently under contract. But the managed service type of business has been around so long, it's 3-year contracts, 3-year contracts, 3-year contracts. And doesn't mean you can't find and win good new deals. The problem is a lot of times they're 2.5 years, 1 year into the contract, and they're not happy. And how can we get out of it? And sometimes they got to ride it out. And in this case, they're 6 months out. They got to do 90 days notice. And so we're going to sign the deal now, and then we're going to just lay the groundwork foundation for our onboarding when we get a little bit closer to April of next year. He's going to give notice. So it's never fun to wait 6 months to kind of start the deal, but you can close it, signed, you got it in blood, and you can get started. You can take your time and do things right. You're not rushed into, oh my God, these guys are going to flip the switch in 30 days. We got to make sure we have all the information and get in there and get our stuff done. This way we can take our time and not that we don't do things right, but a lot less likely to miss a thing here or there when we can really, with full intent over the course, of the next 6 months, kind of build out the onboarding right and the project right and get started. So I'm really excited to get started with those guys. They are a machining company here in Wisconsin. First got that lead, I want to say maybe July or August, and went out and met with their director of operations, super guy. His name's Richard. And, it was just one of those situations where They'd been with the company a long time. They had already been with this company when he started. And it's like for the past 2.5, 3 years, it's just been on autopilot with them. Things aren't being kept up. Notes aren't being kept up. The updates aren't happening. They're not checking in, and everything he needs, it's almost like he hears back from him and says, yeah, you can do that like this, or you can go to there to do it. He's kind of thinking, why am I paying you guys to do stuff if you're not doing anything? So, all that being said, I think we hit it off in that first meeting. He's super experienced. He's not an IT guy, but he knows a lot about it from being in manufacturing business for a long time. So he's seen it all. And it just so happens they're using an ERP system that we're familiar with, and that's always helpful. But had a good discovery meeting, and then things went quiet for a while. And when I got out of the discovery meeting, it was like, okay, here's what the next step looks like. We've changed our process a little bit where depending on kind of what things look like in that meeting, I'll say, here's what we can do. I can give you a soft quote right now, but it won't include a couple things because there's just information we don't know yet. And then we can, depending on how that looks for you, we can do an assessment and then do a proposal. Or I'll just say, hey, I think this could be a really good opportunity. Looks like you guys want to move fast. Let's come back next week, do the assessment, come back the following week and do a presentation. In this case, I got him a soft quote. He held on to it for a couple months, never looked at it because I can see when it gets opened. And then one day I saw that it was open. So I just okay, I'm going to give him a call, And so I gave him a call, left him a voicemail. He called me back maybe a week or so later and said, hey, I think it makes sense to do the network assessment. So, that was like a 2-month course of time. Went back out with my chief IT guru, Joe. And, we did the network assessment, learned about all the other things, found out a lot of things that could improve as well. And then a week later, I went and presented and gave him like a week and a half to mull over it. He needed to check on our references. He needed to talk to his leadership, and he called me today, and they're going with us. So that's super exciting. I'm happy for us, happy for the team. They always want new clients. Happy for Bob because he's really been working hard for us. Because he gets a part of that deal. He may work for Arsenal, but he's our guy. And when he gets us business our way that we close, we give him a part of the recurring revenue. So for another year, I think he's going to get 10%, which is awesome. Good for him. I say that for any salespeople. He's more of like an SDR or whether you're an outside sales rep that's pounding the pavement and actually going and doing the work that I've been doing in this case. You should be getting a piece of the pie, and that's how we roll over here. So, exciting day for Panacea Smart Solutions, both for the Pana Health division and for the Panatech division. It's just a win that we needed. So that's got me a little bit fired up today. I'm really excited to tell my wife about that because she asked me, any new clients? And I'm like, nope, yep. And I told her the other day, I said, I got a couple cooking that I think are a really good possibility to bring home. And she's going to be excited. She might be watching right now. I don't know. But she's going to be excited when I tell her we got 2 new clients this week. So what else can we talk about? Going to Chicago tomorrow. So there's this company called Kaseya. They're a big IT management software, cybersecurity. They're in a bunch of different stuff these days. We do some work. Some of our stuff is through Kaseya. So they've got this, I think they call it Kaseya Connect. So tomorrow I've got to go to Chicago. It's always nice to get out and meet other people in our business and get to know our vendors better. I do enjoy it. It helps us tremendously to get to know people because what happens is when you don't have a chance to put faces to names in small business, it's feast or famine a lot of the times. Like there could be a couple weeks go by and I might not ever need anything from my reps over at Kaseya, and I'll forget who the heck I'm even supposed to email or call, and then and they never hear from me, so they don't know if, it's actually urgent. But when you meet somebody and you get to, sit down with them, or we did this a couple weeks ago with Sophos, because Sophos is an international cybersecurity company, fantastic company. If you don't know who I look them up, sophos.com. Look up Sophos. Great guys. Been working with Sophos since they're like 2011, 2012 when I got into this business. Always done right by me. So we went out to one of their events in Chicago a few weeks back. Had a great time. It was at a Top Golf facility. So we got to swing a little bit, talk, chat. Found out our rep is a guitar player like me. So we were telling guitar stories and telling about all the money that we spend too much on guitars and that kind of stuff. So, and then once that happens, now you've got a friend, and they know that you're the real deal, and they're not just jerking them around and trying to waste their time. And I tell you what, they respond, and they're great. So, if we can, and I can't say Kaseya hasn't been, but I've never, I think maybe Joe has been doing a Kaseya event out at Wrigley Field once last year. But we're going, I can't remember, we're going to be at some restaurant. The worst part about it, though, is it's at the end of the day. It goes from like 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. I'm about depending on traffic, 3 to 3.5 hours from where we're going to be. So, and that's bordering on, I should just jump on a plane, but then you got to deal with travel when you get to but I mean, I like driving, but what I don't like is being away from my family in the evening for such long periods of time, because the evenings are the only times I get with my family, and it's important. One of the most important things I like to hear about is, how was my wife's day? How were my kids' days? From my 4-year-old all the way to my 14-year-old, because I live vicariously through their adventures. When they tell me their stories about, their music class or piano or, PE or volleyball practice or whatever they've got going on, all I do when I'm listening to them is it kind of puts me in my younger body and brings me joy to hear that they're having fun with that stuff too. So I don't like not being there, but that's the nature of small business. We all have to sacrifice those things, and I try not to do it too much. But so I've got to meet Joe, who I talked about previously, about what time? Oh, Matt.
Hey, 1 second. Hold on. My mic, it doesn't look like it connected to my computer. Just 1 sec.
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I can hear you now. Cool. How we doing? Yeah, I had a call that ran a little long. Apologies. So I joined as soon as I could. No worries.
Hey, business is happening this week, man.
Nice.
I've just been rambling on about some new deals that I got today, and then I was just talking about, I'm going to Chicago tomorrow for a vendor event.
Nice.
So I was just talking about, when you're in business, having to travel, and I don't like to do that much. If it's a planned few days, it's not so bad. The family can prep for it, and we do FaceTime and all that stuff. But so I'm gonna be in Chicago tomorrow. I've got to be there from 3 to 9, so it's gonna put me home at like midnight. I'm basically just whining right now. No, honestly, I'm just whining because I'm not gonna get home till midnight, maybe a little bit after. I got to get up at 5 Monday, Wednesday, Friday to go to the gym, and the gym on 4 or 5 hours of sleep is not as fun as it is on 7 or 8 hours of sleep.
I bet, yeah.
But I'm doing this app now at the gym, and if I miss days, it backs me up on my progression. You know what I mean? Which is good, because then I don't injure myself by trying to do, because instead of going up a certain percentage every day, or that I'm working out, it'll back me up. Like I missed the good part of a week about a month ago, and it knocked me down on all my lifts 10%. So that progression that I was seeing over time went boom. I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
And it took me like 3 weeks to get that 10% back. So I don't like to have to do that. So I don't want to miss the gym. But anyway, I was just whining.
Nice.
How are you doing, man?
Yeah, doing good. Yeah, busy day. Had a recording session that ran a little long for some testimonial stuff. So yeah, all's good here. Just kind of business as usual, running through some testimonials, algorithms, videos, things like that. So that's been really good. And then yeah, pretty much fully settled in here to Denver. So all is good in the hood over here.
Nice. The office is all doled out and good to go.
Yep, got everything set up, everything that I need. So yeah, it's looking good in here.
Very cool. Haven't heard much update. I'm interviewing you now, man.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. Haven't heard much update on the poker cast. How are things going that way?
Yeah, it's good. Just honestly been really, that goes back to what we were kind of talking about, earlier in the year. Just got really busy with work. And so unfortunately, the poker podcast sometimes takes a sideline when I get busy with work stuff. So hoping to come out with a new episode by at least next week of the poker podcast. But yeah, that's just where, when business, client work kind of takes over there. So that's why, I'd like to set aside, more dedicated time for that. But for right now, just with the move and all this stuff going on with client work, just kind of got sat on the back burner for a little bit, but hoping to ramp that up again here soon.
Cool. It's like what happens sometimes with me in this daily show. I mean, I really want to be dedicated,
Yeah.
but yesterday we didn't run the show because usually what happens is I try to get the outline doled out by 3:00, because what I do throughout the day is if I take a break or two, I check news, what's going on with stuff, what should I be aware of? Maybe I can talk about it, right? And then I'll input that in, create an outline, and then shoot it over to you. I try to do that by 3:30. Well, it's like 3:45, and I was working on it. I didn't get it done, and I get a phone call, and it's from an opportunity that hasn't closed yet. But
Okay.
and you just got to take it. I can't be like, hey, dude, I've got a podcast to record in a couple minutes. You're not that important.
Right.
But maybe someday when we've got, thousands of viewers or something, that would need to happen. But right now I can't, right? So I know how you feel. I know how it goes.
Yep. Definitely.
You got to prioritize sometimes and keep the main thing the main thing.
Yep. 100%.
Cool. So what else is up? I'm trying to see. So Chicago tomorrow. Oh, first parent teacher conference last night
Nice.
for a high schooler. I've had them for like my elementary schooler and my middle schooler.
Yeah.
First time doing honestly, in my whole life, I never, as a child, never went to a parent teacher conference my whole school career, because my mom and stepdad, whoever that was at the time, didn't prioritize that, never did that. And I don't think it necessarily was because they didn't care.
Right.
Like a lot of parents, what happens is you're doing so much. So it's not like they worked 5 jobs, but they each worked a full-time job. We lived down in Conroe, Texas at the time, which is like a half an hour or so outside of Houston with traffic like over an hour.
Yep.
And they worked in Houston at a Ford dealership, one parts, one in. I can't remember what my mom did. She was like, I don't remember. She was just always in front of a computer. I don't know what the heck she did. But they were always, they wouldn't get home until probably 6:30 or later. And it's too late to get home, try to get people fed, and then you're going to run out to somebody's school and sit down with the teacher. I get it. I am blessed enough to have some flexibility in my life where I can not be here for a little bit to do those kind of things or leave early. So
Right. Exactly.
So Deck's doing good. Anybody who's been watching the show for a while, they know Declan. He was homeschooled forever, but wanted to go to high school. So we're like, all right, let's go. So he's doing good.
Nice.
He's making friends. He's involved with class. He's making friends of the teachers as well too, which is good because they all kind of enjoy his wit and what he brings to the table. So, so far so good. It's only been a couple months, long way to go. But I think he'll be all right.
Nice. Glad to hear it. Cool. Yeah, definitely.
Just trying to think what else. There was something else I wanted. Oh, well, if we're going to talk a little bit of sports here, it was not pretty last night.
Okay, I wasn't able to catch the game last night, but
I couldn't
what
watch
happened?
it. I couldn't watch it. It was to the point where I'm like, it was Brewers started out 1-0, and then all of a sudden it's 1-1, then it's 2-1. I'm like, okay, held that, and then all of a sudden, Dodgers 1 point after another and after another, in like recurring innings, and you just knew they weren't coming back. I don't know what it is. The Dodgers couldn't, they couldn't hit North America with a boat if it was right in front of them right now. Or sorry, the Brewers, they just couldn't. And the Dodgers got a good staff. They got a really good pitching staff. But I mean, regular season is different than playoffs, obviously. But it's not like the Brewers hadn't played the Dodgers. They played them 6 times, beat them all 6 times. So I think they're just cold. Honestly, they were. It was exciting to get past the Cubs. They didn't hit well against the Cubs either. So they're hitting some home runs, but that's not their type of ball.
Right. Exactly.
They're not getting base hits. They're not moving players around the bases. I I don't know. This wasn't last game. This is the game before. Did you see that one play that they had when the bases were loaded? Did you see that highlight?
I did not see that. No, I haven't been really too in tuned with that game series
Oh,
too much, to be honest.
so in game one, so the Dodgers had the bases loaded. Balls hit like to the wall, and I think it
Yeah.
was Frelick jumped up and it hit his glove, bounced off the wall, and then he caught it off the wall before it hit the ground. Now the rule
Okay.
says that's not a catch. That's not a catch off the
Right.
wall like that. And so the runners run, and they thought they just needed to tag up, and they, you know what I mean? But
Yep.
he threw it in, got it home in time, got the player out at home, and then the catcher ran to third base and got the other dude out, and they got a double play off of it, ended the inning.
Oh, nice.
The run
Love that.
scored. It
Yeah.
was crazy. I hadn't seen anything like it.
Yeah. Good stuff. Love that. Love that.
So, but it's not looking good for the Brewers. I think, what is it in the 7-game series? They go 2-2, or do they go 3? How does it go? It goes 2, then 3, then 2.
I think that sounds right. I'm really not sure because I think, yeah, whoever's maybe ranked higher, they get more home games or they start out at home. But yeah, I'm really not sure. That sounds right to me though. But
I think it's 2-3-2.
okay.
So I'm pretty sure they're not playing tonight. I think they got to go to LA
Okay.
and they got to pray.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, they got to win. They got to, they got to
Yep.
win 2 games in LA.
Yep. They really do. They really do.
So, yeah, I think that's about all I got for today. You got anything else? Anything upcoming?
No, nothing too crazy out of the ordinary. Yeah, just yeah, excited to kind of be all settled in, to kind of get back in the groove of things. You know, now I can start kind of paying a little more attention to some of the playoff baseball. Some football's been going really crazy too. So yeah, no, exciting for sports, exciting for business, and yeah, just excited to share it with the team here.
Yeah, today's been a good day. I mean,
Love
the
it.
2 deals that are closing, it's going to be worth to us
Yeah,
probably somewhere between 7 and 8K a month. Put
Love
those
that.
put together, one
Congrats.
on the health side, one on the IT side. So that's good. That's a good
Yes,
little
sir.
bump this month.
Love it. Love it. Cool. Well,
So
good stuff, my man.
awesome, man. Hey, well, thanks for jumping in after the call.
Yeah,
You
of
know,
course.
whether it's 10 minutes or 30 minutes, it's good to have you on.
Likewise, brother.
And we're going to end here. I think we're right on time. So thanks
Awesome.
everybody for joining Brian and Matt for the 76th episode of the Daily BLP. I don't think we're going to be doing tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to be in Chicago. So I'll be in the midst of that meeting during the show's time. So I'm not going to be able to pull away to do that. So we'll swing back in on Friday and do a full show and have some fun. So
Sounds good. Well, great seeing you, Brian. Have a great trip to Chicago, and we'll talk to you Friday.
awesome. Take care, everybody.
Yep. See you guys.